One of the biggest thing I learned is once I arrived at the age of 30, I realized that a lot of things needed to stop. You're probably here watching this video. You're probably 30 right now and you're like, yes, I went through all this. And this video is definitely gonna help you because it's gonna remind you to live your best life, be the best person you can do, and follow your dreams. First things first, stop giving yourself a time limit. Everyone's journey is different. When you give yourself so much time limits, sometimes it becomes a little bit toxic. It becomes unhealthy. Usually, the time limit is based off of someone else's life and journey, and it ain't based off where your current situation is. Stop looking at Sally and putting time limits on your life and just enjoy life. Let it be. Yes, you should have goals, but stop putting like rigid time limits to the point where when you don't hit those time limits, you're getting down on yourself and you're beating yourself up. That's a problem. So if you're giving yourself a time limit that you know that if you didn't reach, you'd get down and depressed, don't make that time limit. Make it more realistic. Stop telling yourself you need to get to a certain point by a certain age. Let me break it to you. You probably spent your whole 20s telling you, oh, I need to get this goal by this age. You probably accomplished some things by that timeline that you gave yourself. But I'm gonna tell you, just stop doing it. Now that you're 30, you're realizing this one thing. You're the same person. You're the same exact person. So give yourself that grace. Set your goals. Set it within time frames that are realistic. And because the reality is that now that you're 30, you're still going to be accomplishing goals for the rest of your life. It doesn't stop. It never gets to that point where you just arrive and everything's all perfect. You're going to always be accomplishing goals. So take that pressure off yourself. Take a breather. Go lie down on the beach or something and stop living in that box and giving you all that pressure. There's so much more to life than just putting some type of timeline every time. You can get the same thing right now as you're in your 30s, as in your 40s. And it's gonna keep on going. Your goals never stop. The way your life looks right now is how exactly it should look. Unique and not looking like anyone else. Life can't be reduced to a checklist. Life is too big for that, for you to be reducing it just to a plain old checkbox that you check off so that it looks like everyone else. It sucks to look like everyone else. It's boring to be normal, to look like everyone else. Embrace that your life looks different to someone else's. That's the whole point of experiences. That's how you're gonna inspire other people. Stop living your life the way people think your life should look and feel and be. I get it. There's a whole stigma around you need to accomplish your goals by the time you're 30. But now you're 30. So what now? So what? Life has not come shooting down on you. The house hasn't burned down. You're 30 now, and this is your chance to continue living life. Continue trying to accomplish goals. This is not the time to beat yourself because you didn't reach your goals by 25. You know more now than you did probably in your 20s. You probably did so many mistakes. You've had so many mishaps that now that you're 30, you're more wiser, you're more mature, you're more confident. You are a better version of yourself than you were probably in your 20s. And embrace that. Goals and results that you're gonna get now is gonna be so much different. It's gonna mean so much more. You have more years to come in your 30s. Don't worry about what other people think or how your life should look at. Because you know what? Sally ain't paying your bills. They ain't paying those bills. And if they try to tell you how your life should look at now that you're in your 30s, you tell them, hand over that check, dude. Hand over that check. Your life ain't over because you're now 30. If anything, it has just begun. You know more now than you did in your 20s. There's so much more perks. And until you realize it, you won't enjoy your 30s. I spent my 20s trying to figure things out, built a business, learned a lot about myself. And guess what? I'm still the same person now that I'm 30. Stop listening to other people's opinions. Stop listening to what people expect of you and just do you and be you. Here's more of what you should start doing more of. Living in the moment. Now you're in your 30s. There's no more excuses of, oh, I have to do this by the time I'm 30. Live in the moment right now. Start reminiscing in the moment, in the present, so you can remember it. It's powerful. Remove being anxious about the future and live in the moment. All that weight just pulls off when you're just in the moment and you're not worrying about what if now, what am I gonna get accomplished by the time I'm 40? We need to stop that cycle. That was in your 20s. We're gonna leave that way back in the past. And you haven't run out of time. Stop looking at the past and start making goals for now in the future. But don't stress about it. That's my only rule. Because one of the things I realized now that I'm 30 is I didn't run out of time. I'm still here and alive. It's time to just continue to live life and set goals. It doesn't stop now that I'm 30. Life didn't freeze over because I'm 30. It's like, oh, you're 30. Okay, that's it. Nah, continue. And I can hear you right now. But Nickia, my clock is ticking. It's okay. You're gonna crush them goals as your clock is ticking. You're gonna remove timelines and you're gonna stop focusing on fear, and you're gonna just focus on making the necessary changes that's best for you. Notice I said best for you and not making them out of fear. Nah, 30 ain't the time for you to scramble and be like, I'm gonna grab the first thing in front of me. You ain't no desperate chick. You ain't doing that. And you're not a pair of eggs neither. Enjoy life, and I mean it. Make new friends and stop telling yourself, oh, but Nickia, I can't make any new friends. I'm too old. Stop speaking that into existence. Just like you're working hard to date that guy, you can put in some effort to try to make friends. Friends are important, dude. It's important to have a support system. So you don't feel like getting obsessed to find that guy or getting obsessed with certain parts of life that gets you stressed out. Friends helps you to just relax. It helps you to stay in that moment and enjoy moments, right? Socialize. Go and travel. Experiences. And I know it's hard because I've experienced this where I spent most of my 20s being like, oh, well, I have to have things a certain way. Oh, I have to find a guy first to go on that trip because I want to go with someone because that's what you see in social media. If you're single, do it solo. Your 30s is the time for you to experience life. And I know we can get caught up in being in our comfort zone. It's so easy to because you're stuck in that nice bubble and you're comfortable with it. But get out of that bubble because whenever you go out for more experiences, it expands your mind, it expands your experiences, and it reminds you how precious life is. You have one life to live. You're 30 years old, not 70 years old in a rocking chair. Your knees ain't shot. So it's time to travel. Every time I've traveled, it has expanded my mind. I've gotten new ideas. My mind was more clear. Something about traveling. Because it gets you out of this distraction mode. There's so much distraction here. It gets sometimes when you're in your bubble, you start focusing on the wrong things. When you get out your bubble, you get to realize, wait, there's more to it. There's more to life. And that's something that you'll never experience when you're in your comfort zone. You don't get a new perspective when you're in your comfort zone. You get a new perspective when you're outside your comfort zone. Stop the stressing and start more self-care. I don't care what that is for you. Whether that's lying on the couch and relaxing, watching a movie by yourself, planning a date for yourself, and doing things that you like doing. That's one of the most fulfilling things, is doing stuff that you love doing and not waiting on other people. You did that in your 20s. You wasted your 20s doing that. Now you're 30. It's time to do stuff for you. Do stuff you enjoy doing and not be afraid of your own company. Try new things. Life isn't over. Try new things. Don't be stressed out because you're in your 30s. Don't do it. Start doing more of the things that you love doing or the things that you're good at. Now that you're 30, there's no time to play safe. Start the business that you've been wanting to start. Change the job that you've been wanting to change. Don't accept your circumstances the way it is because society says that's the way it's going to be, or your mind's telling you, well, you can't do any better. I'm telling you, there's more to life. You could always improve on what you're already doing. You could always get better. Try new things. Don't be afraid to try new things. If you have that idea relishing in your heart, or you have something that's been nagging at you, you know what I'm saying, that's been nagging at you, telling you, no, you need to get this done, you need to do it, you need to do it, you need to do it. Like I've gotten that nagging until I've done it. Then it starts to go away and you feel better. Don't ignore that voice. That voice is so crucial to your happiness. It's so crucial of where you're going to be in life. So don't ignore what's in your heart. And this is just an example, a hypothetical. But if you've been wanting to quit your job, time to quit the job. Find a better job. Find a job that you've been wanting to do ideally. Life is too short to just be reminiscing of how your life should be and not taking any action. right? That's what it comes down to. If you are feeling like you're ready to make some changes, make the changes. Just get it done. Just because you're in your 30s doesn't mean you need to stay stagnant. Your 30s is a time to move. It's an opportunity to make changes and see things that you beyond what you imagined for your life. Don't go throughout your 30s being in the same spot, and then when you get to your 40s, it's gonna be the same things. And you know where you wanna be for your 40s? Is be the best you. That's all you can be. The only person that you're competing against is yourself. And that's something to remember at all times. You are where you need to be right now, and you have the tools, you have the resources to get to where you want to be. But it starts with one step towards